All right, welcome to another episode of Becoming a Scrum Master. I am your host, Ryan Ripley. Joining me today, Stas. Stas is a fellow PST extraordinaire, I believe, one of our Dutch, one of our Netherlands compadres, right? Or in
Yes.
the Netherlands, the contingent that's taking over the world, one PST at a time, right?
There's a couple of us. Yeah.
Just a few, right? There's a good
Just a few.
concentration there. But
I think
Stas,
the most per capita.
it used to be Columbus, Ohio, and then it might have been somewhere in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Now I think it's definitely the Netherlands. So, well, welcome, Stas.
Not sure if that's a good thing. Thank you.
Yeah. So, first question: can you share the story of how you first encountered Scrum? What motivated you to become a Scrum Master? Was there a particular moment or experience that sparked your interest?
Yeah, great question. I think we've most of us in the field have these pivotal moments. I definitely had a couple. I actually started out as a project manager a long time ago. I don't think I was a particularly good product manager because I remember by the end of each project delivery, we would get into these discussions with the customers where they were asking all of these things which weren't delivered, and basically our answer was always, well, it was out of scope, which was true, but it didn't feel right with me because I figured, well, we're having this conversation about things that apparently should have been within scope, but yeah, people can change their mind. Why not? But then we always followed it up with, well, there's always phase 2, and that was basically the game that we were playing, but not particularly my game, I would say. So based on that frustration, if you will, at some point I heard about Scrum, and I figured, hey, this could be interesting. But to be honest, I was working with a customer which I didn't like the word agility or Scrum at all. They really liked the delivery of something each quarter, and a lot of reporting. It was very delivery focused, and the customer didn't want to do anything with it. I did, however, so I decided to take the plunge and book myself a training, paid for it myself, and that was a great decision, to be honest. It really inspired me because I really learned more about Scrum and a different way of delivering products. And ultimately, that's what I enjoy: delivering products, building products with other people, and helping businesses to build better products faster, I would say. And project management didn't work out for me. Scrum worked great for me, and I enjoy it to this day.
So it's great. It sounds like, it really elevated your career as well. So once you made that shift to Scrum, was there a Eureka moment, like a pivotal, not even just pivotal, but maybe just a moment after you made that switch from project manager to Scrum Master, you're working with the framework, where you just saw the obvious power or impact that Scrum could have? And if so, could you describe?
I saw the potential. Yeah. Basically, I saw the potential it could have, and this really sparked my curiosity. But I must say, it was the decision to go on the training and kind of really learning more about it, which really sparked that Eureka moment. And then you get back from this training, right? Like you feel energized, and you go like, yeah, I'm going to conquer the world using Scrum. And I must say that didn't go well initially, because I figured, well, it's just Scrum, right? It's just a couple of pages, and then I'll tell everybody how to do Scrum. It's a bit more to it than just following the steps. There's a lot there to explore, but ultimately that's what I love. But yeah, that Eureka moment really came during the training and also during a hackathon, I would say, where you really experience what you can achieve when you're under pressure, but you have a team which is very motivated to work on a certain goal, rather than to be motivated by pizza and to deliver whatever you've agreed on. Yeah, I really like that.
So over the years, working with Scrum and working with different Scrum Masters, and through all of those different projects, has your perception, or how has your perception and execution of the Scrum Master role evolved? are there aspects of the role or the accountabilities, as we call it now, that is different compared to when you first started?
It's an interesting question because I have to admit I'm not that much of a Scrum Master. Like, I did a little bit of Scrum Mastery, but I pivoted quite quickly to product ownership. So I've been mostly focused on being a product owner, being a product manager.
So let me redirect
using
this a little
Scrum.
bit.
Yeah.
So I'll redirect then. So as a product owner, you've encountered many Scrum Masters. Is that fair?
Yes, for sure. Yeah,
and so have
absolutely.
you seen a shift in the way that Scrum Masters are approaching you as a product owner?
I see a shift gradually. I remember when I started out, it was mostly focused on the process. It was really focused on estimating everything, doing the process well, doing Jira well, and I must say my own role was more of a backlog owner or Jira DJ, as I refer to it now, than being an actual product owner. And I see the same with Scrum Masters, where initially, and how I started out as well, where Scrum Masters will be focused on going through the motions, the mechanical Scrum, making sure that the 3 magic questions are always answered during the daily Scrum, or daily stand-up, as most of us call it, still. But it was going through the motions, and I really see that we are starting to shift to what actually matters, and that's are we doing the right things? Are we delivering things that are making a change to the customer or are actually valuable to the business? And I'm glad that we see this change because it comes at a good time. Ultimately, that's what it's about. It's answering the question: are we doing the right things, and how can we know to tell? And that's the biggest shift that I see.
It's a good shift, right? It goes from the mechanical to the value-driven kind of discussion, and I think the industry overall has been trying to make that shift and pivot for the better part of the past 20 years. So it's interesting to hear. It's a good trend, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So maybe even from a product owner perspective, which I think is totally fine, what advice would you give someone that's aspiring to become a Scrum Master? Any mindset, skills, habits that you think are crucial? And I think it's even more interesting from that product owner role, or from that product owner perspective.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I've pondered this many times, and I've pondered this this morning as well. Ultimately, I think you need to be intrinsically motivated to collaborate, but also to question assumptions, question yourself, question your methods, even question Scrum. Scrum is incomplete. You need to add stuff to it, and are you adding the right stuff to it? Question everything. That can be demotivating. That can be a distraction at times, but really try to get into the nitty gritty of are you the things that you're doing actually helping you, or are you just creating more busy work? Because that's not the point. You need to be able to be critical, but also be critical of yourself, and be able to take feedback. And the most important thing is you really need to enjoy collaboration with others, collaboration with stakeholders, collaboration with your team.
Well, that's great and very true. If those things are not on your radar, being a Scrum Master will be painful. Last question for you, Stas, and then we'll get you on your way. What is one book that you think every Scrum Master should read?
Aside from fixing your Scrum, obviously, I have a hard time picking just one, and I will give you a different one every time. But the one book that I would argue that every product owner needs to read is definitely the LeanStartup. And I would argue the same for Scrum Master as well, because it's not about Scrum; it's about delivering products. And the LeanStartup really gives you a different perspective on the same thing. And that really helps you to broaden your perspective on what else is out there, and how can you enrich your own toolkit to make sure that you keep delivering value and help the teams and the organizations that you're with. At least that was for me the book that really made me break away from Scrum mostly, and they're not saying you should break away from Scrum, but you should definitely enrich yourself with other views on the other perspective on the same thing.
Great. We'll add that to the show notes and to the list of books that all of our guests have recommended. It's a neat, a neat list. Each one's different, so it's cool to see just the eclectic mix of books that have come up. So Stas, this is your time to shine. Anything you want to share, promote, or let the audience know about before we wrap up?
Just scrum on and keep maximizing value, everyone. And definitely link up with me on LinkedIn. Probably there will be a link somewhere. As there will be things coming this year. There will be a book. It will be in Dutch, unfortunately for some of you. But there's other things on the horizon, especially if you're based in the Netherlands and if you do something with products. Hope to see you around.
Very great. Well, thank you, Stas. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
Yeah, all right, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you never miss conversations like this with great people like Stas. Check out the socials. We're pretty big on Twitter or X and LinkedIn. We're still figuring out Instagram. We're not quite there yet. Some videos are going to pop up. It's our free Scrum course and our free EBM course. Dig in, listen to those playlists, go get certified, and get to work. No excuses. They're free. All right, for Stas, I'm Ryan. Go forward, do some great Scrum things. As Stas said, Scrum on, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.